Ugh, what a gorgeous day. It's 17 degrees out right now, and it's still the morning, so it could get warmer. It's supposed to be high of 19, but we're usually a degree or two warmer than the forecast temp, so gorgeous, gorgeous. It feels very spring-like, although it kind of has felt spring-like intermittently throughout this winter. It's been a very mild winter for us. Like, it was rarely even in the -20s. Anyway, in my last vlog, you saw me create a bunch of Froggy artwork. I finished the Copic illustration, and then I also did some digital art Froggies. So the art is made, and it's now time to take that art and turn it into products for the Froggy collection. There's a bit more art prep required. Like the marker illustration, I need to clean up the scan and cut elements out of it, but the art creation part itself is done. I kept tweaking that art yesterday. Like, I edited the Froggy cup and then I rescanned it, took new photos of it, and then I was like, oh, I need to increase the shading on the paint tube, so I did that and then redid the scan, but I did not re-photograph it because I was like, I keep changing stuff. But I think I just need to stop. The one thing that's bothering me now is this big cup. I feel like it needs a darker shadow, but I think I'm just gonna add that digitally because I'm scared to ruin it. But also I want the original to be done. Maybe I should try to darken it by hand traditionally, because, you know, I have scanned this half. If I decide I hate that, then, you know, I've got the other version of it scanned already. Like, the shading is not supposed to be too dark anyway. I want the shadows a little bit soft. I'm going for it. I'm doing it. I'm tackling the cup right now. I just hate changing stuff like this because I've got a smooth blend on those colors, and so if I'm going back in with marker, it's like I gotta recolor the entire cup basically. But if I go in with just pencil, it will leave a lot of pencil texture. I don't want too much pencil texture on this, although there is in some spots, because it's so much easier to darken a shadow with pencil. Don't know exactly what colors were used for this, but I know I used some light warm grays, E40s. We need some pink in there. This side of the cup has pencil on it. That yellow bit is pencil. So I'm kind of scared the marker's not gonna absorb well there. I need to go darker. Let's do E42. I'm scared. I need to go even darker, but I need it to be pink. What about RV02? Where is that? Quick, the ink is drying, quick! Oh, it's in the photography thing. Ah! Because I kept re-photographing this, I left all my prop markers and pencils in the photography tent for the next time I take a photo. Ooh, see, we're also smudging that pencil just a smidge. Smudging a smidge. Okay, I'm stepping away. We're calling that done. Because, like, if I start deepening the shadows too much on one item, I'm going to want to deepen them on everything to match. This is better, though. I'm glad I fixed the original, because then it's, like, done. I'm not going to pull this out of a drawer someday, look at it, and be like, man, I wish I actually fixed it on the actual thing instead of digital. So, there we go. See if I can darken in here a little bit. Mower. Just because now that the cup's darkened, this feels less dark. See, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. I could nitpick this for the rest of my life. At some point, you just gotta stop. Little Mushy's in her favorite spot. Not quite in the catio, but just enjoying the fresh air and breeze. She was in the catio for a few minutes, but then she settled down here. Okay, this next task is not specifically Froggy related, but I want to fix the typo in my coloring book and also shift text around so that there's a spot specifically left open for me to sign, and then order the next batch of coloring books because we don't have very many left. I had ordered 750 and I think I have about 100 left, or maybe even fewer than that. And I just released them like a month ago. So I need to order more. Obviously, the initial rush is where I'm going to sell the most, but it's something I want in my store long term. So I would like to reach out to the manufacturer today to get a new order placed. And then hopefully we have that in time for the Froggy collection, although I kind of doubt it. So I did already fix the typo for the digital download, but it's a different size document. So I still need to fix it for the traditional copy. Plus, like I said, make room for the signature. Wild Chiss sighting. It's like Bigfoot in the background.
Threads I think I need to order.
Part of my annoyance with editing the coloring book is I gotta figure out what I'm supposed to open. I've got so many files. I'm scared to delete anything because I might need some version of it at some point. Inner pages chin. That's gotta be it. Beautiful, beautiful. But you see, this does not have editable text. This is just like a flat version of each page laid out. So I need to open a different file to edit this page specifically. And that file is the master file. Okay, let's add the letter I back in there. Woohoo! What I did here is I reduced the font size by 1, and then the first 2 sentences are together as one block instead of 2 separate blocks. And then this should be enough space to sign across. I do visually like the look of the 3 separate text blocks, but if I'm wanting to put a spot here for a signature, this is gonna have to be consolidated like that. Yeah, I think this is how I will do it. I go to File, Automate, PDF Presentation, but this doesn't work with the file I have open. If I do add open files, it makes it all just one image, like the entire Photoshop file. So I'm going to be adding the individual pages. So I resaved out page number 1, and I'll just grab all the pages. And now I have the whole thing as one document. Just do a quick scroll through. They'll also send me a proof before they print. Okay, the file is sent off to the manufacturer, and I'm requesting 500 copies, which is a lot. But like I said, I just want it in stock long term, so I'll order that much. And if they sell out again in the future, I'll maybe order like 300 or 250. But I want it in stock for like the lifetime of my shop, ideally. So I'm confident that 500 is not too much for long term. It's just a matter of like space. Am I ordering too much? Am I filling up the basement too much? But in terms of selling them, I'm sure they will sell eventually. I just noticed it's 1 o'clock. I have not eaten yet, so I'm gonna go do that. And then when I come back down, I'm gonna pack up orders because it's mail pickup day. And then I can get back to products. Orders are packed. This is what I looked like the whole time. Because I moved the product around and I kept reaching in the wrong spot for stuff. But here's everything. And I did in fact stack it on the ground because I talked about that in the last vlog, how I put the prints here and so we have less counter space, and I just don't want to block product by putting packages up here anymore, so they're down here, and that worked out quite well. Okay, now onto enamel pins. The first thing I'm going to do is prep the files for the existing pins because that'll be the quicker job, and then I'll deal with the new pins. So we're bringing back Bunkin. This was the old card I made, so I'm covering up the 750. We're going to order 300. And I believe this is my 3rd time ordering Bunkin, so I don't want to over order. Then I'm going to have a Photoshop file with all the designs in it where I have the outlines separate, just so they can isolate that. I don't know if they even use my Photoshop files. I'm assuming yes. So I'll put all the designs in this same Photoshop file under groups. And then this is the back stamp. Goes on the back of the pin. Not at that size, but I'm just including it at a nice big size. Because I'm not submitting vector art. I just submit raster. The original Halloween Cats, I ordered 750. Then I restocked it at 300. I'm going to order another 300. Now for picking Pantone colors for the new designs, this technically counts as new. I'm picking new colors anyway. So I selected this pink. You click on your swatch down here. Adobe got rid of the Pantone color libraries, but I just never uninstalled Photoshop 2022. I have a newer version on my computer, which I was just using, but when I'm doing my Pantone stuff, I open the file in the older Photoshop. That's almost exact. I can barely see the difference between those two colors. Wow, okay. 189. Now for this, that's the closest we got. That's not bad. It's actually a little darker than the old pink, which I like because I felt like there wasn't enough contrast here. Interestingly, on the green Luna, that overlap section is lighter, but on pink Luna, it's darker. Now, ideally, I should have a Pantone swatch booklet IRL that I can look at with my own eyes, not on a computer screen, but I really only use Pantone colors for the enamel pins, and it's worked just fine using it on the screen like that. Okay, these 4 are taken care of. Now to the new ones, which is going to take more time because I'm not just pasting files and renaming things, changing quantities. I have to create the pin files from scratch, figure out the sizes and whatnot. So yeah, I'm thinking Bat Frog, the Paint Frog, and the Bow Frog. So what's being excluded is the Artist Frog and the Stacked Frogs. I feel like Stacked is just so big. I probably could make it work, but I don't really want to introduce 5 frog enamel pins. I just feel like that's too many. Like, I could still do the stack idea for a different creature, cat, bunny, whatever, so it can be revisited in the future. And then I'm thinking quantity 500 for each of the froggy pins, which is a lower starting amount. But with Lunamoth and Halloween Cats, those sold really quickly, and I ordered restocks for both, and those restocks both eventually sold out, and I'm ordering them a third time. And then when I ordered stationery, I was like, you know what, I should just order more to begin with because the pins sell really well. And then the stationery pins did not sell well, and I have so many left, so I'm not making that mistake again. Plus, because it's 3 different frogs, some people might just want 1 or 2 of them, if any, and so I think 500 of each is plenty. And if they sell quickly, I can just order more. Also, these little froggies without their props would be cute pins as well. Or even a bunch of mini pins for the non-prop frogs. But I gotta cut it off somewhere. Like I said, 3 frog enamel pins is already a lot for one specific product launch. So we're going with this one, and where are you? Ah, there he is. So I can just grab this, drag it in. Wow. Actually, I might want to drag in just the lines, unless I'm going to trace over this. Oh, I don't have just the lines. I do for the wings. I guess I do for the frogs separately. Because like when I drew the wings, that file has this version of the frog, like a flattened merged image of the frog. So bat wing lines and froggy lines are in 2 separate files. Probably still worth it to grab them. It's faster than redrawing it, especially because I want my lines perfect. I'm going to sit here redrawing each line 100 times. Okay, I've got the pieces, just gotta put it all together. I had to try to position the wing so that it overlapped okay with the frog, because I don't want there to just be like the skinniest bit of wing showing here. Like they have to fill in this sliver. I widened it a little bit, and same with here. I didn't want there to just be this tiny little triangle for them to fill in. So yeah, just moving things around. Now in terms of the color, I'm not going to do the shadows, but I do want the back spots and the highlights. So the spots and the highlights are going to have to be screen printed since there's no black outline on them. Because everything you see that's black is going to be the metal of the enamel pin, and then they fill it in with color. Oh, wait, but what about the tummy? Ooh. Ooh. I don't really want a third screen print color, and I don't like how it would overlap with the metal. I think that's just gonna result in so many B grades. So I could try to go with a thinner line, perhaps. I would erase the part that overlaps with the cheek. But is it weird how it connects to the mouth like that? Alternatively, I draw the stomach lower down like this. But then it doesn't match the rest of the Froggy collection. Ah! It makes the corners of the mouth feel different, you know? Now, am I doing gold metal or not? I assumed yes. And if I do go gold, then with the wings here, instead of having filled in color, I could just narrow it down and make it like solid gold for these parts. The cartilage parts. So instead of being outlined like that, it would be outlined like this. These are the things we gotta think about when converting to an enamel pin. Okay, here's Final Froggy with Pantone colors chosen. And here's how the mock-up is looking. The one thing missing is the size. I mean, it's there, but that's from the stationery pin. I need to print out sample sizes of the pins. You know what? I think I'm gonna wait until I have the other two drawn up and I can print out all the froggies together and decide the size that way. Because I want all the frogs to be about the same size in terms of their bodies, but also they're not all drawn from the same angle. So I just want to see them side by side, see how it's going to look. This frog and this frog are both 2 inches wide, but this obviously looks bigger, right? So they're not all going to be the same width. I just have to find something that matches, but is also a good size for each. So I put these other 2 froggies in at the 1.8 size and 1.6, and they're both still too big. I feel like the ideal size is this. These look all good relative to one another. So that's a 1.8 with 1.4 and then 1.3. I've decided to make a change. We're going white belly instead of this color because it's not quite as light as I want it to be. I just can't find a Pantone color paler than that. So I'm just going to go pure white. It looks closer to the original and it just looks cuter. The other lightest color would be the color I used for the highlight on the yellow froggy, which is this, which honestly is not that bad. Like that's what I had before. This yellow looks a bit less fleshy, which I like, but I do like how the white pops, and it does eliminate a color because we have white in the eyes. Okay, I've got all of these in one document. Bunkin's on white because that's just how he was, I guess. Yay! And then I have the Photoshop file with everything in there, and each one has lines, screen print color. They don't all have screen print, but the new ones do. It's 10:30 and I'm now just wrapping up for the day. I was determined to get that enamel pin order in, so all the files are sent off. I drafted my email to the enamel pin manufacturer, and I saw I had an email from the coloring book manufacturer, so I approved the quote for that and just waiting to make the payment now. So things are moving, which feels good. It's now Sunday. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. I was just editing the vlog, and the part where I talk about weather at the beginning, well, I was bragging about how it was 20 degrees. And the very next day, tons of snow. Just a gloomy, snowy day. So much snow. And now, on Sunday, there's nothing left. Right now it's 10 degrees, so it's not as warm of a day, but warm enough to melt all the snow. So far today, I folded a bunch of laundry. I vacuumed the main floor, and then I was doing some editing. And now we're getting back to making products. But what I need to do is rescan my art for, I think, the 4th time. And then photograph it again. And I want to edit both the photo and the scan. Then we're going to take the scan and, using the pen tool in Photoshop, isolate out a bunch of elements. That's probably going to take me a long time. I don't think I'm actually going to get around to making any products today. But if I do get through that within a decent amount of time, I would like to make the froggy pattern. It's on my list for the day. Although I just, considering it's already 1:30, I don't know if we'll get around to that. But for now, let's scan the artwork. While scanning this, I noticed my sticky note. I asked for recommendations for dark fantasy movies, and I feel like the most commonly recommended one was Legend. and we watched it last night. And it was such a visual treat. I just love older movies so much where they use a lot of practical effects and real makeup. They're not using very much CGI at all. Love. It was beautiful. Okay, here's the scan. Not adjusted for anything. I gotta tweak levels and zoom in and erase any little hairs or specks from the scanner. But like looking at it from a distance, looks pretty good. Just slightly washed out. Oh yeah, now that I put the original next to it, it looks quite different. It's not as vibrant and warm, so I'll have to fix that. Now that it's officially scanned, for the last time hopefully, I've officially signed it. Okay, photos taken again. I probably should have signed it before I scanned it, because I could have just edited out the signature, but what I'm going to do is edit in the signature. I'm just going to take this little triangle. Now, my color correction was done on adjustment layers, so if I paste the signature underneath these adjustment layers, all that color correction should apply to it, so it should match. Okay, it's got a nice feathered edge, and so it blends right in. This is without, and this is with. The color's slightly misaligned, but it's pretty close. And a smaller version of the file with watermark, and I aligned it on the corner of the paper, like angled with the perspective of the paper. I thought that was pretty cute. I was getting frustrated with the color correction, so I did a little sneaky. I took a new photo without the artwork in it, and I put the scan in there. And then I did the same thing for all the other ones where there's the scan overlaid on the photo. So yes, one rectangle and then the square version. Although I should put my watermark on this, because this is what I'm actually going to post to social media. That other one I watermarked, that's not what I'm going to actually post. So I'll at least add the watermark to the full view. But yeah, there's all the pictures. Whee! All photos are now posted to all socials. And now I can start cutting elements out of the illustration. All right, now for pieces to cut out. Obviously the plant, but I think, okay, wow. Kiki, get off the mouse! I was like, why is my cursor going nuts? So I can cut out the plant in its entirety. I just don't know what to do about overlapping items, because I could just, cut it off a little short, or I could try to fill that in digitally. I might try that. Then over here, just have it end at that leaf. And that would have to go on the edge of an element, like edge of a notepad or something, but it could still work. And then I would also like to cut out just bits of this, like for example, cut out up to about there, and that could be an element I'd just put in stuff. Cut around these froggies, cut around this cup, cut around the books, cut out this frog. This frog could be cut out alone, but also as part of all of this. I mean, really, I can cut everything out. Like, cup, obvi. Because I plan for it to also be a die cut sticker. Then this guy I was talking about in my last vlog, he could still be used in products if he's up to an edge, because there are some elements overlapping him. I'd like to cut out this plant, including this jar. But even something like this could be cut out and again be at the edge of something. Like really, I can cut out almost any piece of this and have it ready to use. There's no way I'm going to get through cutting everything out tonight. It's simply too much, unless I make it like the kind of evening where I work all evening, but it's Sunday. I don't want to do that. I decided I'm going to attempt to reconstruct this. Hopefully it looks good. I'm duplicating some other sections and moving them around. And I can try to use a bit of the clone stamp tool for the edges. Duplicate petals from the other side. Clean it up a bit. Clone stamp the edges. And now do the same over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. When you see it up close, it's a little blurry, but it's not going to be zoomed in that big anyway. It's going to be on small stuff, so that's perfect. Okay, I've gotten through most of the illustration. I probably could have gotten through it all if I wasn't running Pokemon battles in the background, but life's too short not to. So these are all the layers I've done so far. We have the yellow paint tube, purple washi, paint splotch frog, books, pens and cup, bow frog, purple heart sticker, yellow paint splotch 1, blue pencil, blue paint blob, yellow paint splotch 2, paint tracks frog with tracks, pink paint tube cap, eraser, water cup frog, sticker sheet frog, washi dispenser, purple daisy pot, blue plant pot, marker frog, marker cap, marker frog with paper, strawberry paintbrushes. Is paintbrushes one word? It just doesn't look right. Pencil sharpener, dangling frog, purple star sticker, snail sticker, sketchbook, and cap poster. Oh, why is cap poster inverted? Okay, Control I does not work. 4 paths. This is the path. Oh, maybe that's just the one I've selected. No. Why are you doing that? I don't know. That's fine. So what I've yet to do is this little duo here, and then the plant variants. But I'm gonna do that in the morning. All right, it's now Monday. I spent my morning cutting out more shapes from the artwork and then got them each on their own layer, saved those layers off, and they're ready to go in an Adobe library. And then I had a meeting with Canada Post at 12 o'clock, and then I had lunch, and here we are. So let me show you all my little cutout pieces. Ta-da! I have 39 different elements. I'm just noticing this yellow dot here. Hey! Might edit that out, but okay, there's that one. Then there's pencil. And then this. Books. A Kiki. Little Miss Geek, why do you squeak? Bow frog. How fitting. The cat poster. The dangling frog. Eraser. I'm getting whiplash from the way these are popping up. Glue frog. Well, glue frog's plural. Speaking of which, saying blue plant pot is very difficult. Blue plant pot. Blue plant pot. Then there's the froggy alone. And then there's him with just the glue bottle, and I edited the tip so that the glue's not covering it like that, you know. I had to get rid of the white stuff. So there's that. The cap for the marker. The marker froggy. But then there's marker froggy with all his surrounding stuff. This frog I cut out 3 times. This is one of the instances. There's that frog. There's the one with the paint tracks. Then with the tracks. Alright. Then pencil sharpener. The pen cup. The the paint tube, pink paint tube. The cap for that tube. And there's the full plant. Wow. And then I cut each of these 3 tendrils out. So we have tendril number 1, number 2, and number 3. And this is another one where I had to go in and like fill in the illustration. Because like I was showing earlier, some of the leaves had other items overlapping them. And so I filled that in and cut out the shapes. Then the little ink pot or whatever that is. The sticker. This one's kind of awkward because it's at an angle, but it could work in some places and depending on the product, you know, whatever. Then there's the star sticker, the washi, the sketchbook. I did not bother filling in this, like covering where that paintbrush overlaps, because if I put this in something, I can easily just layer another item over it. We will see. Oh, wrong way. Okay, snail sticker. This sticker sheet. There's how it looks all cut out. Wow. And then this one. This would be too complicated, I think, to fill. Actually, I mean, I could just take this half and like mirror it. The shadow wouldn't fully line up. But you know what? I'm not going to bother with that unless I need it for something. I'm just going to assume that I can have an object overlapping it or have it at the edge of a product like a notepad, you know? If it even gets used. Who knows? I just cut everything out so that it could be used if needed. Straub sticker. The washi, what did I call it? Washi dispenser. And then the water cup frog. Yellow paint splotch number 1. Yellow paint splotch number 2. And the yellow paint tube. Woohoo! Now let's quickly fix this. So now I have all the assets I need to start designing products using both these images and the digital froggies. First, I'm going to revisit my spreadsheet where I listed out what artwork was going to get used for which products, because now that I have it all cut out, I can kind of get a better sense of the assets and which ones need to be which products. But I'm still kind of torn. I got a comment saying that I could use a different froggy for different product types, like a sticky note is one frog and then like a notepad is another frog. And so they all are still cohesive, but it's a different froggy per item. And I had a similar thought, although bigger products could easily fit more frogs on them. But something like a sticky note is small. So I was thinking 1, maybe 2 frogs, depending how I end up doing the layout, especially for the traditional art. But then I gotta decide who gets to be the sticky note. And like, it's kind of tough, but I can't do like 6 different sticky notes. I would maybe like one that uses the Froggy Chaos traditional art and then one that uses the digital froggies. But I gotta decide exactly which frogs are going on what. Wait, I need to pack orders. Let me do that first. It's Monday, it's mail pickup day. I need to get some boxes put away up there. Christian folded these boxes for me the other day. I need to get them put up in the box area. And also, look, the other box shipment arrived. There's stuff here and down the side. So that's a combination of those emergency boxes I ordered and then my actual main box order. So yay, we have a lot of boxes. It's sticking out a lot. I don't want it to fall on my head. This size here is the one that got demoted. It's no longer up there because it's not a size I commonly grab. I suppose it can sit down here where the rectangular ones used to sit, but it fits a lot better. Woohoo! Okay. I could even possibly make room for it on this cart. Yeah, its permanent home probably will be on the cart. I just gotta rearrange a bit. This is pretty full. I'll leave these ones. I do need to grab some of these guys. We got a whiny baby. Oh my god, first time filming with the new product layout. Oh, I need to see if I have enough coloring books signed. I've fully unboxed all the remaining ones we have. They're out of all the packaging. They're sitting on the table. How come my monitors aren't turning on? Why does it keep making that noise? Ah, okay. So I can select all the orders and it tells me how many of each item. So for all the orders I have to pack today, there are 4 coloring books going out. Perfect. I have 5 down there that are signed. So this first order is for Cheryl. Cheryl has released their hold on the order because I have a hold system where there's like an item you add to your cart that's hold my order. And you can use that on multiple orders if you want to hold multiple orders. And then when you want them to release, you place your final order with the release my order item in your cart and then include all your order numbers in the notes section. So I could see there was a release, so I combined it with the previous order. Then I scan these 2 barcodes. One says hold order, one says release order, because those items you added to your cart, they come through as items in the order. So to fulfill them, I scan this. And then we have 2 strawberry sticker sheets. Forest Cuddle sticker sheet. Gotta take my ring off before I start smacking it on everything. Gazebo Cat sticker sheet. And 2 Luna Moths. And the coloring book. And then I need to make sure I delete the hold order and release order items from the customs form. Because this is going into my flat boxes, I'm just going to put the freebie sticker in here with the other stickers. The sleeves are no longer here. They're over here. Because I specifically rearranged so that product is what we see here, not the packaging supplies. I really just need to pre-crease the small flaps because those go against the grain of the box. There's like a horizontal grain. So these edges are really easy to fold, but then these are going against the grain, so it's a bit harder. Doo-doo-doo. And then I have 8 more orders. Let's do a few on camera. I don't have much else to film today. It's that kind of week where I'm sitting at the computer the whole week. So there's not a whole lot for me to vlog. This order's for Sitlily. Stationary colorful sticker. And sticker sheet. And the stationary brown sticker sheet. Now over here, oh, a Lunamoth, a video game, strawberry, the B grade pencil pouch, which is now over here. All the pencil pouches are down there now. And a Lunamoth dot grid white sketchbook. And when I rearranged the sketchbooks down here, I realized I'm missing one of my strawberry variants, but I can scooch. I can scooch things out a little bit. Some of the sketchbooks will just overhang the edge of the shelf a little bit. Because I still have 3 strawberry variants in stock. But then only 2 Luna, 2 Halloween cats. These are facing the wrong way. Wreath side closest to me. Because then when I grab it, it's like facing the correct way. I guess there doesn't really need to be a way. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Now this can go in this box. I'll put the sketchbook down first, and then I'm going to put a piece of cardstock, or chipboard rather, just so stuff doesn't dig in to the cover. I don't know. Just extra layer of protection. This will go in diagonally. Then we'll fill the corners with some crink. And then the freebie sticker on top. The thank you card's already in there on the stickers. Now in order for Jennifer, we have Winter Bun Washi, Little Creep sticker, stationary enamel pin, enamel pin, video game notepad, and strawberry notepad. These are almost gone. Now, sometimes I can fit 2 notepads in this sleeve. It's a little tricky. I probably should just upgrade to the bigger sleeve. It helps if I fully insert one and then add the second, because then we have some slack at the opening. I don't like saying all these words. No. I give up. It depends how thick the notepad is too. Like sometimes the paper stock feels slightly thicker, or they just have more pages. Because I don't think they have a method for counting an exact number of pages in a notepad. So sometimes I end up with fat ones that have extra pages in them. Yeah, this is going to be too tall for the VHS box. So let's do the square one. thank you card and freebie. This is the last of the old thank you cards right here, by the way. I just have a small handful left. Then it's on to the new ones. Okay, let's do one more order. We have an order for Jordan here. At Peace Art Print. Ooh, to the new print section. Do 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 do. At Peace. Ta-da! Brown bookmark. Stationery brown. And the Creators and Characters coloring book. Yeah, the print is still going to go in its own sleeve, so the bookmark might as well go with the print. Sometimes I just slip in bookmarks on top of the coloring book. But I don't want the print sliding around in the coloring book sleeve, so I'm going to have it in its own separate sleeve. I guess the freebie could have gone in there. It'll just go loose. I do that a lot too. Just like that. But underneath, because I don't want the freebie to slip out through the crack at the top of the box. This crack here. That's why the sticker's under the book. I might have to review my shipping prices for the US because they're not automatically calculated at checkout anymore because it's being all glitchy. So I have them all manually entered for different weight classes. But the fuel surcharge on the label pricing is going up because fuel prices are going up. This is one of the things Canada Post warned me about in today's meeting. So I'm gonna have to possibly grab new rates. It shouldn't take me too long because I only do that for the US. So I'll do that one of these days. One of these days. And now I'm going to continue packing. I have five more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because it was 9 orders total. Oh, I think Kiki wants to go back outside. Yeah, we were out there for a little bit together, weren't we, before I packed the orders? It's too cold to have the catio open, but I can go chill with them outside a little bit. It's windy right now and it's blowing the leaves everywhere, and she loves that. Got my jacket on. The wind's gonna go right through my pants though. Let's go! Ah. Well, are you coming? Yeah, it's a little spooky. Last time she ran back inside because there was an extra strong gust of wind. Alright, I guess she didn't want to go out. My tape is out. Let's grab a new one. Thank you guys so much for your orders. Here's all today's packages. Also, I had exactly enough of the old thank you cards to go out with these orders, so now I need to grab a new stack. All of these here are the new ones. Just such a brick. Look at that. Let's grab this smaller stack. That's the perfect size. This is the new thank you card, and the other side is the same. Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? Before I can fully decide what goes on what product, I need to make the pattern. I forgot that was on my to-do list. I need to make the digi pattern because that's going to give me a better idea of what the digital designs could look like. The pattern's only going to go on very specific things. Like as of right now, it's going to be the end paper and the journals, and that's all I know it's going to be on. But it's just going to help me see the froggies together and decide what colors I'm going to focus on in the background and just the overall aesthetic of it. Why is this green frog so small? The orange that it was recolored from is not that small. And I don't know why it will not let me use my pen to drag out of the libraries. It's always been like that. I don't know why. I have to use my mouse. Kind of need a sixth frog. I mean, we have an orange frog. Kind of do need the orange frog to balance out the pattern specifically. That doesn't mean it has to be in the other artwork, but just the pattern. Maybe yes. Also, these frogs might still be too big for the pattern, because if I want to throw in things like the blobs, I'm going to need more space. But also with this pattern, because I have an odd number of rows, these end up stacked on each other. Because like they're offset from one another, but yeah, rows 1 and 3 stacked. Okay, this tentatively works. I haven't added in the paint blobs yet, but here's how it's looking. So there's 2 green frogs and 2 yellow frogs, and then I added orange back in. And that way we have like a 2, 2, 2, 2. Because ideally I use 4 froggies or 8 to make the pattern. So here's 8, and then I tried to just space out the yellow and green. And for that to work, they have to be in the same column, but like flipped. Now the 2 front-facing froggies are right next to each other. I couldn't avoid that, but what I did do is modify the green version so that his mouth is closed, so he looks a little different. And honestly, kind of digging it on the white background. I'll probably just make it on a transparent background, and then I can add a background color if I want, depending on the product. That's probably the way I should do it. So yeah, now let's add in some blobs. For pink, it's like huge blob or tiny. But I could easily draw in some new ones. I'll just start off with what I have to see what works. Okay, this is cute. I may have made another pattern. It works really well, actually. Ah! Like, this is gonna have to be the end paper in the journal, because the cover is gonna be the full version of this art. So like this has gotta go with. Made a few tweaks. Here it is. I got started on a washi design and then went upstairs for supper, and while just eating, did me a little cryptic crossword. This was the quickest one I've ever done. I mean, I didn't time it, but I could just tell I was flying through it. But that's because it had easy clue types. Because first of all, these things tell you what the clues are. So this one had anagram, hidden word, charade, and acrostic. I hate charade because sometimes it's such a stretch, and I just... But these ones made more sense. Anagram is easy. Hidden word is easy because the word is just there in the clue in order. You just have to like reach across multiple words. And then acrostic is easy because you just take the first letter of every word, and it's again in order. So I was flying through that. And then since most of the words were filled in, once I got to the charades, it was easy. Although I had to Google if either Asti or Tsai was a wine, and it was Asti. It had to be one of those two. And I like 9 across. Bay's strange allure. Why, thank you. So that was quick cryptic number 13. Started at number 1, working my way through. It's into the early 100s at this point. Like very early. When I printed these off, they were at 101. So working my way through. I thought I might be sad once I catch up, but you know what? I think by the time I catch up to all 100, the hype is gonna have died down for me, and I'll be okay just doing 1 per week. But right now, since I'm so new to cryptics, I'm like... And I have to pull myself away from this. Like, I finished that one really quickly, and I wanted to start a second one, and I was like, Bailey, no. You have to do other stuff, too. I could do more tonight if I really want to. So yeah, here's the Digi Froggy washi. I'm thinking of calling it Paint Froggies, because I need a name for it. There's Froggy Chaos, but I need a name for this kind of design, too. So up here it says Paint Froggies. And maybe we'll stick with that. It's very self-explanatory, you know? I'm kind of feeling that should be a green paint blob. Because, first of all, we only have one other green paint blob in this. And it's like blue next to blue. Yeah, that's gotta be green. Okay, there we go. I don't know how I didn't notice that earlier. But also, I didn't get a super good look at this because I got called for supper. And I honestly do love just the white background on this. Because not every background needs color. The stuff that has the Froggy Chaos artwork on it will have background color, so it's kind of nice having something that's just white, and it really helps the Froggies pop. It's now Tuesday, and I thought I would show you the other washi designs I made. So you saw this one. There's also Froggy Chaos, kind of similar to the pattern I made, but in washi form. And this is including a bleed, so the edges are going to get cut off of all these washi designs. It'll be a bit of a tighter crop. This is going to be a 20 millimeter washi. This one's going to be a 15 millimeter washi. And then there is this one, which is also going to be a 15 millimeter washi. It's the Gothic Froggies. So I drew up a bunch of extra elements to go into this one. And that's what it looks like. Still cutesy. We got pink and purple, you know, bows. I added a bit of brown because the wings on that Froggy are brown. So we have the matching potion bottle. Then there's this crystal thing. That was the first bottle I was drawing with like a froggy head cap. And then I did the poison bottle. So there's kind of two bottles. And blood drips. Whoa, or is it paint? Nobody knows. A little frog skeleton hand. I gave this frog a dagger. Moon. Yeah, a bunch of stars. This froggy got a recolor to be darker. Purple bow with like a dark gray body. And then the spider webs in the background. That was the final thing. Yeah, look, so cute. Now, is it gothic or is it just Halloween-y? I don't know. I tried my best. Oh, and look at this. Both babies in the bed. They haven't really been using the bed at all lately. Kiki's been loving that Twitch blanket. But she crawled out off the Twitch blanket into the bed to cuddle with Midna. Oh my goodness. And that was great because then I got to use the blanket because I was cold. Now back to the washi. I feel like 3 different washi designs is more than enough for one collection, so I'm gonna leave it there. If I get some other kind of design idea, I could do it for a different product type. But I feel like it's a good variety of designs there. So I'm gonna make a little mock-up thing that just shows all the different designs on one sheet, what they're called, what size they are, and the quantity of each that I want to order. And then I can send that off to the manufacturer. And then I'm going to add these couple clips from today into the vlog and get that exporting. So I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.